has led cloud and IT modernization programs at NordCloud and IBM company, Mr. Nilay Mardikar.
Start from understanding what exists in their data center, what are the cost drivers, what is the transformation model, how this project is broken down into streams.
Initial steps in anyone's journey, I think, makes a big way in which how the journey in future shapes, right?
In the currently evolving world, the most immediate impactful things that are visible are artificial intelligence.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Tanay All, and today we are delving into the world of strategic IT leadership, cloud transformation, and how one can drive impactful and large scale digital changes with a customer first mindset. Our guest this evening is a leader who has dedicated his career to managing high impact transformations and driving growth across critical accounts. With over 2 decades of experience and expertise, Mr. Nilay Mardikar has led cloud and IT modernization programs at NordCloud and IBM company and built lasting strategic partnerships while consistently delivering impactful digital outcomes. Nilay has not only managed multi-million dollar portfolios but has also successfully navigated complex solution sales and P&L management, all while leading cross-functional teams through transformative projects. It's an honor to have you with us today, sir. You're most welcome on the show. And how are you this morning?
Thank you, Tanay, for that extraordinary introduction. I'm quite all right. It is a nice, warm, sunny day, but with a little bit of hint of cold here in Helsinki. And I'm glad that you've given me an opportunity to be here. So thank you for having me here. I'm looking forward to this conversation with you.
The pleasure is all ours, sir. Sir, to begin with, your career spans over 2 decades, and it's clear that your journey in strategic IT leadership is both impressive and inspiring. But behind such a remarkable career would probably be a story that shapes this path. So, could you please take us back to the beginning and share some of the most pivotal moments of your career?
Absolutely. I think it starts from my stint in Thermax Limited, and some extremely inspiring leaders in the form of Anu Aga, Meher Padamji, where we were working with manufacturing systems in its production setup with 14 plants and building their manufacturing IT solutions that was taking care of procurement, ordering, and then all the way to production and then eventually dispatch and money realization. It was a very complex setup, and I was, well, very fresh from the oven, so didn't have all the bells and whistles that were very important to be able to understand the business impact. And the business users were also not fully informed about the computer domain as such. They had to learn, and part of it was educating them, part of it was learning through them. What is it that actually makes their day a successful day? That actually made this whole learning curve and being a part of the business focused and customer focused mindset very valuable. The leadership, of course, is the key part over here, but then also working with an average individual and understanding his focus and priorities to define his success in his terms is basically the most important instrument of this journey. I think Thermax is indeed my pivotal moment. Then onwards, of course, there have been different geographical and transcontinental experiences, of course.
Yeah, initial steps in anyone's journey, I think, makes a big way in which how the journey in future shapes, right?
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah. Sir, you have led numerous cloud and IT modernization programs, particularly in your current role at NordCloud, where you've worked with enterprise clients to bring them into the cloud era. When you
Mhm.
reflect on some of the most challenging cloud transformations you've led, what do you consider the most critical factors that ensure these changes are successfully integrated into an organization? Like, how do you manage to balance innovation with the operational consistency that businesses require?
I think it needs to be handled in three dimensions. To be having a humane approach where recognizing that a person may not be actually well informed about the cloud as a concept, and being able to bring him on board through conversations and upskillings and hand-holding training sessions, including him in the exact stages of project and program to make him feel relevant and contributing, I think is important. The second part is to be able to have a flexible model which actually tunes to the demand of the customer or the challenges that are coming through. For a case that I'm in going to explain, we were at the beginning of COVID and it was already peaking up. The customer had stopped. It's an airline domain customer. They had to stop all the flights. That means that their fundamental revenue stream was completely gone to zero from a couple of billion. They were actually in a scenario where they were required to then uh, ask people to go on holidays or furloughs or even reduce some of them. In such a scenario, if we were to execute this project, we had to be on the edge every day and had to be willing to replan the priorities on every single day. That actually led us to also helping our own team to find the right balance of where we should accelerate and where we should actually be able to take a moment and help the customer to understand that, okay, this is a challenge. The third dimension was to recognize that there is only one financial model that works, and that is customer's financial model. If that is functioning fine, then we are able to meet as an ecosystem um, the customer's target. So the whole motto of this transformation was one team, one goal. So the customer, the cloud provider in AWS and Node Cloud IBM were all working in with the same KPI to make sure that the data center exit happens on the given date, irrespective of the challenge profile. And we were able to make that happen with exactly that schedule to be able to make sure that customer is exiting as of 31st of March 2021.
Yeah, and any big change for any customer is probably a big mindset change which requires
It
time and
is,
trust. Yeah.
it is. We were able to offer them an end-to-end viewpoint. So start from understanding what exists in their data center, what are the cost drivers, what is the transformation model, how this project is broken down into streams, how each stream will run, how the adjustments happen on an ongoing basis to the stream, what will be the conclusion of this stream, what happens in terms of the assets that are then exited from the data center, and how the overall impact is drawn on the business case and the cost savings. That was the total transformation that we were able to make.
So, in today's rapidly evolving world, the need for scalable yet flexible solutions is paramount. At NordCloud, you have been deeply involved in designing solutions that align public cloud adoption with business goals, creating impactful digital outcomes. How
Correct.
do you ensure that the solutions you implement not only meet short term objectives but also provide long term value to your clients?
Thank you, Tanay. I think it's a very to the point and very relevant question considering the current cloud demands plus the AI related impact that is foreseen in the coming future. To be able to have the right outcomes, you must start from what is the customer's strategy and customer's outcome desired. That should then translate into your individual project benefits, customer's financial business case, our business case. What is the current skill maturity competence level inside customer's organization in our side, and what are the ecosystem supports available? For example, AWS was able to bring in a certain amount of competence, a certain amount of funding to be able to help build the business case more robustly. That basically meant that we were able to not push the customer to demand the payment on the first day. We were able to build a financial engineering instrument that would distribute then the immediate payment or cash release from the customer end to distribute over the period of 36 months. That gave them the relief that they could start with the transformation first and over a period of time be able to operationalize the payments that were required, which gave them also a relief that if there is a challenge coming during the migration, that Node Cloud team is able to actually help them design and support through the managed portion of it, which because it was an end-to-end solution. So it was migration, managed services, advice to be able to support them and get the right instruments in place, also inside their own organization with the help of AWS providing the needed training and support. So that gave us the possibility to actually succeed. Again, the key driver was one team, one goal. So we were not us versus them. All of us were measured on the same KPI of being able to exit from the data center on the given day. And each of the leaders were focused on removing the impediments inside their organizations, whether it is inside Node Cloud related to staffing, skill complexity, inside FinAir related to availability of the partners to make sure that we are running with the project at the same velocity as we want to achieve the target. And from AWS point of view, they were actually bringing in the value in bringing the customer experiences and then the complex technical architecture solutions when then it was necessary. It helped us to be able to achieve the target very, very profound way.
That's actually a very excellent strategy, and I think our listeners will learn a lot from that. So, leading high performance teams is a key part of your role, especially when navigating complex cloud migrations and IT transformations. In such high stakes environments, it's easy for stress to mount. How do you maintain focus and keep your teams aligned with the broader vision, especially when facing obstacles or uncertainty in a project?
In my opinion, when you are running a leadership role for either a unit or a company or a project or program team, it is not about being able to always advise and tell people to do what you need to do. I think there was enough competence in my team. So in cases where I was actually feeling that I needed to seek advice, I was more than open to receiving the needed guidance and feedback from them. I think it's amazing that when we as a team are focusing on the same outcome, that the outcomes are actually surprising you, even though you know what the outcomes are desired. The other part to this entire process is to be able to hear and listen through your team, through your customer, through your partners, to make sure that they have an open channel to share their view or concern or success. And then the third one is that you always appreciate publicly and criticize in a one-on-one environment. The improvements are always handled,
I think
in an
communication
isolated
becomes
room.
very
Correct.
important. Yeah.
So you must continuously engage and communicate, stay connected all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Very true.
That's super key.
Okay, sir, now time for our very own rapid fire round. A few
Yes.
quick questions and we request you for
Yes.
quick answers. So, are we ready?
I am. I'm very much ready. Thank you, Tanay.
Lovely. So, if you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be?
I will live in Helsinki actually, or in fact north of Finland, where we have the Santa village. It's beautiful, peaceful, and amazing to be able to appreciate the auroras.
Lovely. What's your all-time favorite book or movie?
The book I would say is Satya Nadella's Hit Refresh. It just tells you and puts your thinking in the context. Uh, Movie wise, I think it is Laksha, the one that basically tells you that from an ordinary person, you could actually become a high performing leader
Yeah.
with the needed investment of emotions, hard work, and not looking at own success, but making sure that the success of the team comes first.
What's the most unusual food you've ever tried?
I have actually tried bear.
Oh,
And in Finland, it's actually an option to eat a bear,
okay.
and it's an interesting uh,
Meat.
bear sausage. Yeah.
Lovely. If you could listen to only one song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think there is this movie called movie. There's a song called "Ye Hausla Kaise Jhuke," "Ye Arzu Kaise Ruke,"
Yeah.
which basically is being able to continuously evaluate and see that the challenges that you have faced has brought you to where you are today,
Yeah.
and the challenges that you will face in future will actually make you future ready as well. You just need to be able to have the needed determination and trust in yourself that whatever the scenario be, we will be able to deal with it. We will be able to handle it. And for that, personally, my family has been absolutely inspirational. My wife, my daughter, they are my biggest fans and also pretty. My father, God bless his soul, he is no more there, was an inspiration in being able to focus, get me focused on the vision. And my mother was, she's a housewife, and she drives my humility and simplicity in life. I think that's basically uh, a good definition of a good leader. And here I look forward to Ratan Tata's leadership. It doesn't have to be an alpha male so far as you just basically are recognizing the need to be empathetic. You know when to stand in the front and when to be actually following your team.
Yeah. What's a hobby or activity that always helps you unwind?
I like to play table tennis, and as and when the opportunity presents, I still manage to do that. I in Europe or in Northern Europe, actually, it's easier to find this kind of availability within a closed environment,
Yeah.
um, and you have facilities available from within each county in different sub counties as well. So it's making
Yeah.
me so that's from the sports perspective, and I love to cook, and that's the other part. And I cannot say that my daughter and wife love what I make, uh, but
It's peaceful for you. Yeah.
it is just an absolute disconnection and a connection at emotional level, and food is memory for me.
Yeah. Very true.
So which basically gets me connected to my past and helps me look forward to the future.
Yeah. If you could meet any historical figure, who would it be and why?
I would like to meet actually two. I would like to meet Abdul Hamid, uh, a fierce fighter with very modest resources during that time, was still able to defend, uh, fighting fearlessly, fiercely, and still being able to actually take the decision of laying his life down. I think that is the kind of intensity and passion is necessary for you to be able to work. And at some point in time, I would like to also meet Bhimsen Joshi, because he was my personal soul healing mechanism. So when I listen to his songs, the classical ones, it just basically calms me down and takes me into a meditational or healing stage.
Well,
That I think is super key in the high stress environment, in my view.
so what's one thing on your bucket list you determined to check off?
I want to meet. I want to go to West Indies, and I want to see Patrick Patterson's home
Okay.
and bow my head over there, because he was an absolutely tearing, fast bowler. Uh, I mean, he's probably been one of the most difficult bowlers to play. He didn't actually get the limelight because of the others actually getting a bigger share of it, with Courtney Walsh, Curtly Ambrose, and earlier Michael Holding and all those guys, Andy Roberts. But I would like to go to West Indies just to actually go and see uh, Vivian Richards and then Patrick Patterson's homes.
Lovely. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Um, I think it was uh, also from my father, and it's okay to fail, but not to stop there. I think that gave me a possibility to recognize that, okay, my efforts are not leading the success. I need to rethink my approach, or I need to actually take a step back and see whether my approach was the correct one in the first place. I think that ability to take a step back and be able to reflect that, okay, my ambition was to be here. I wanted to do these things over a period of next 3 to 5 years. I am right now not succeeding in the second or third year. Then what I need to do? I need to take a step back, analyze what are the things that I need to do, where I have failed, and then accordingly correct the course and continue to go forward towards the destination,
Yeah.
not stop.
That gets us to the end of the rapid fire round. So thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank you, Tanay.
So, in today's rapidly changing digital environment, organizations are facing new challenges related to governance, risk management, and ESG factors. Given your experience leading complex IT transformations and overseeing large scale migrations, what do you believe are the most critical steps that organizations must take to safeguard against emerging risks?
I think in the currently evolving world, the most immediate impactful things that are visible are artificial intelligence and its adoption, and then cyber security being the second. In the environmental, social, and governance dimension, uh, to be able to leverage technology right rather than just leveraging the right technology is important. Not everything needs to be fixed by technology, but when you use it right, then it serves your cause in terms of being able to steer the right outcomes, the right stakeholder awareness, to be able to get the required policies and compliance in place that you can measure, review, update, and refine. And that cycle has to continue.
Yeah.
You don't start and then you just leave it at that. Every year there are so many technology evolutions, there are so many different changes happening in geopolitical context. You must evaluate your organization's position, your board's position, to be able to see whether the relevancy of what we have been using as policy mechanism is still same, or do we need to adopt and evolve to be fit for future. And that continuous journey is where the technology part, the board's ability to absorb that technology and make it fit for purpose, fit for future, is I think super critical.
Yeah, very well said, sir. Sir, you recently joined Directors Institute. We would love to know what inspired you to get involved with the institute and how has your experience there shaped your views on modern governance and leadership?
So I've been actually in leadership role for a couple of years through Node Cloud and through Node Cloud also with IBM. But it was basically a more executive role. And then you are always having an operational or a tactical priority that you would focus on and get consumed with um, in short or medium term. But there has to be always a continuous viewpoint of how you are going to focus on the vision of the organization and what does it take to be able to drive that. For that, you need to actually take an independent position, not uh, be consumed or get stuck in an operational or tactical mechanism of execution. So independent director is that role which could actually become a silver bullet for fixing more problems of an organization by standing outside rather than getting involved in it. That could be in technology point of view, that could be compliance and security point of view, that is being able to have great financial stability and outcomes, and eventually be a part of the growth story and bring in the talent and the investors into the same organization, recognizing that growth is not about just having money coming in, but it's also about right talent coming in and being able to recognize the brand value of that organization. That is something that I saw a video and that from Directors Institute, and that I thought was a very strong value proposition for me as a person, that I would like to make an impact on an organization's destiny without necessarily being a part of that organization, or having a commercial arrangement, that I get paid for it as an advisor or something. I wanted to be a part of the board and eventually be leading a board to success of the organization and the institution itself. That's why I decided to join this initiative.
Lovely, sir. Thank you so much for those kind words, sir, and for joining us today and by sharing your remarkable journey from leading cloud and IT transformations to shaping governance practices and engaging with directors institutes. Your insights have been both inspiring and enlightening, because what truly stood out was how you connect technical expertise with leadership values, emphasizing the importance of governance, innovation, and most importantly, a customer first approach in today's
Yes,
fast paced business environment. So, thank you for that.
absolutely. Thank you, Tanay. I appreciate your time and the insightful questions. I think that helped me also look at and reflect on my own journey in the ways that I had not thought of. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure, sir. To our listeners, today's conversation should leave you with valuable takeaways on driving digital transformation, embedding strong governance, and leading with purpose. This has been FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm Tanayol, and until next time, keep learning, keep growing, lead with purpose, and of course, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.